The Blue Jays are in the market for some big names potentially, and of course, Gillies TV will fill us in on everything you need to know in just a matter of moments, folks. I'm Yak, he's Gillies TV, and this is Clemhawks as we get set for another edition of Blue Jays discussion here on the channel. Rumors to be had for the Blue Jays today on this American Thanksgiving. That said, folks, we are pacing to get towards 5,000 subscribers if we have it our way by the new year, and we'd love to have you along for MLB, NHL, and anything else we can throw at you here between us, and of course Clem as well here on Clemhawk. So if you'd be so kind to consider hitting that subscribe button. And folks, if you're excited about the Blue Jays for another season in a row being in the market for a big name pitcher, don't be afraid to leave a like on this video. I was going to say live stream. We've been doing a little bit too much of that lately, Gillies TV. But to you quickly, the Blue Jays are in on some big names. I want to mention the first one first, and just kind of your take on why the heck the Blue Jays would be in on that big of a name in this free agency.
Justin Verlander is, I'm pretty sure, what you're going after here. And it's no question. Verlander, for all his career, has been that top quality pitcher, has some World Series rings, is a 9-time All-Star pitcher. He comes with the whole package. The scary part is he's almost 40 years old. How long a term do you really want to go for Justin Verlander? But adding him to a great rotation in Barrios, Manoah, and Gosman, just think about that. Justin Verlander with those three,
Well,
Jays could win it all.
the only question I've got for you is, can the Blue Jays actually afford him, or is there a way the Blue Jays could find out to afford them, or afford him, sorry, if they're looking to make that big of a splash in free agency?
Well, the rumors have it that he's probably going to be in the Max Scherzer price range of 40 million plus for 3 years. Like I said, scary part is he's going to be 40. The Jays could make some room. They lost Ross Stripling. They got to fill this hole. The one guy that kind of stands out pitching wise, if you're going to get a quality pitcher like Verlander, is Kikuchi. He's making $10 million this year. Take that away, you're at $39 million because you're already at $29 million after the Teoscar Hernandez trade, also Ramel Tapia and Zimmer leaving. So $39 million, you could go over the tax a bit, which will be compensated by Ryu's injury. The luxury tax will go down a bit. So there is ways, or you look at trading one of the catchers.
So
The
you're
Blue
saying
Jays
there's a
couldn't make it.
chance.
There is a chance. If the Blue Jays play the cards right, there is a chance.
That's pretty unreal, but I guess, we can have our heads in the cloud for as long as we want on this video, or we can come back down to earth a little bit and realize the Blue Jays are maybe more in that $20 to $30 million price tag range. And there's a name out there that the Blue Jays have now, over the past couple of days, been more heavily linked to than I'd say Justin Verlander. Do you have details on that?
Yeah, so they have contacted Carlos Rodon's camp. There is mutual interest there in a sense. He's looking at all possible options, and adding him would take the benefit of not having to trade Kikuchi, a catcher, for literally nothing. And he could come in. He made $21.5 million last year. He's probably looking at that $28 million range, which would fit in our cap.
So the Blue Jays have some options, obviously, right? As I think a lot of Blue Jays fans would immediately say Verlander's off the table just because it's Justin Verlander, right? I don't think you're, as the Blue Jays, after all these back-to-back-to-back years of big splashes in free agency, necessarily going to go out there and expect the Blue Jays to sign Justin Verlander. Not saying he's off limits, but necessarily saying for Blue Jays fans, they're not going to get their hopes up because 40 million, the luxury tax, all that, probably not in the books. But when it comes to Carlos Rodon, how does he fit into the plans that you kind of laid out that Verlander really fits into? But how does he fit better other than just cap implications against the salary tax for the Blue Jays?
Well, with Verlander, he's 40, right? Rodon is 31. He'll be 32 next year. He brings that younger presence in. He's just in his prime, but you will feel more comfortable signing him to a 3-year deal than you would Verlander. Because 3 years, he'll be 34, turning 35 the following season. It makes more sense in that aspect. Or if he's looking for a 5-year deal, you're still comfortable with it. We got to remember, a year ago, the Blue Jays extended Jose Barrios for 7 years. So if we're in a win now mode for the next 5 years, we're gonna have to add a guy like Rodon or Verlander.
So that's where the Blue Jays find themselves, right? You've got a couple of options here. You got the big price tag item. You got Carlos Rodon that actually fits your budget right here, right now, and would line up, right? If you've got a 5-year window as the Blue Jays, and you've got, hey, you know what, Barrios there, Manoah's there, you can add another piece like Rodon or Verlander. Obviously, I think based on everything you've said, Rodon fits more of that timeline because he'll be around more able-bodied, I'd guess you could say, right? He's at 31 to 37 in that time frame, as opposed to Verlander in that time frame, probably already retired by year number 5. And for the Blue Jays, looking to get something out of somebody for that big of a salary, Rodon, I think, is the player that fits that profile the best. But I guess the last thing I want you to break down for me is just, as I said, right, we can have our heads in the clouds about signing Verlander. We can be a little bit more realistic by talking about Carlos Rodon. Realistically, if you were to break it down percentage-wise, 0 to 100, likelihood of signing Verlander versus likelihood of signing Carlos Rodon.
Likelihood of signing Verlander, I'm gonna go off of this a bit. It's probably 40%. There were rumors, and actually stuff came out last year that Verlander almost signed with the Jays on a 2-year deal last season before Astros came, said, here's a more money for 1 year, and he decided to stay with the Astros. So the Blue Jays were in his cards. And I believe that he wants to go to a younger team that has the potential, and he's one of those have fun guys. He's serious when he's on the mound. You watch him in the bull or in the dugout, he's having fun out there. And he hasn't really played on young teams before. We think the Astros, think about 5 years ago when he got there, or 4 years ago, they're not young. Altuve's up there in age. Yeah, Bregman's a bit younger. Correa's up there a little bit when he was there. But I believe it's a 40% chance because of the history between him and the Blue Jays. Now with Rodon, I'm going to say it's more 65, 70% just for the fact he is younger and fits in that salary cap of the Blue Jays.
And now this is not percent likely to sign with the Blue Jays. This is percent likely the Blue Jays to sign them. That's more or less what we're going over, is because the issue is, and the beauty of this is, we will be doing a lot more videos throughout the rest of the offseason until both these guys are signed. I am sure tying these guys to X organization as rumor X and rumor Y comes out throughout the offseason. He's Gillies TV. I'm Yak. Dolany TV, Tyson, whoever the heck I am tonight. Folks, I hope you enjoyed Gillies TV's hat too. I cooked up a special there. Yes, sir. Anyways, this is Clemhawks. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you'd be so kind on your way out, if you're new, to hit that subscribe button, that'd be greatly appreciated. And friends, we'll catch you in the next video coming up. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow. Who knows? We'll find out. We're up on out of here.